it's important to know the characters, the psychology of the characters, the motivations that drive them to do anything, because that's what everything else springs from. You know, what is driving them is also going to affect their body language. It's going to affect their carriage and how they interact with other characters and how they interact with their world. I usually start with imagery. You know, for me, it's, you know, sort of a daydream of a sort of in the moment, this is, you know, where I am as the character, and this is what's happening around me. Well, how did I get here? What's happening? Who am I? What motivates me? Backstory for characters is essential, and the richer it is, the richer what actually sees the page will be. And that backstory should not be on the page, except what little bits get fed in to help you understand the motivation or to draw attention or what have you. You know, I've got a character whose backstory was so rich in the current novel that I'm writing her story now.
Oh, interesting.
So you know, don't let yourself get bogged down with backstory so much as the motivation of the character in that moment that you're writing. Focus on that, because a lot of people will spend too much time trying to set things up, and in truth, what you should be thinking of is your story starts not, you know, with the pencil on the desk or the pencil rolling across the desk. It starts with that moment that the pencil hits the floor. It's already rolled across the desk. It's fallen off the desk and it's hit the floor. Where am I now? You know, like, you know, that's the moment where the reader wants to enter your story, because all that stuff about the pencil on the desk and rolling across the desk, that's for you. That's for you to help bring it to life when the pencil hits the floor.
Oh, interesting. Very good.
Of that.
Right.
Right? You need to start with the bare bones.
Okay.
Okay? It takes a certain amount of writing experience to be able to find your voice as a writer and what kind of cadence your writing will have, you know, and what kind of rhythm, what kind of, you know, verbiage you like to pull in to create different types of mood and atmosphere. And that takes thousands of pages. You have to write hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages before that becomes instinctive and your voice really matures. So until that point, if you needle over that, it's just going to bog you down. And instead focus on the craft that creates your story and let that other stuff come naturally as you continue to write and write and write and write and write. Right? Take you know, one of the most popular series of books, right? Harry Potter.
Okay.
If you go back to that first book and you really break it down in terms of the craft, you know, how well is her sentence structure and her grammar, and how, you know, how poignant is it when she describes something. It's just a first book, but by the time you get to that seventh book, you're going, wow, Jo, go! This is some great writing, you know, and you know, setting aside her love for adverbs, which I think is pretty funny. I think Stephen King teased her about that, but setting aside certain idiosyncrasies of her writing style, you really see her growth as a writer in those pages. Now, if you are dealing with publishers and agents and they're doing their job well, the public isn't going to see that learning curve. You should be getting published after most of that learning curve is behind you. Yeah, they'll see growth in you as a writer, but if you get published too soon, they're going to see that whole growth, and they may be turned off by your writing style right out of the gate if you try to get published too soon. You need to know your craft, and you need to be writing well before you want the world to see it and judge it, because judge it they will. And there is not a person out there with a vested interest in your feelings that, you know, they're going to tell you exactly what they think and feel, and they will slam you. And I mean, there's a lot of that online especially. So you want to put your best foot forward at least, and represent yourself and your craft as best you can, right? We all want to aspire to be better. And so I'm actually glad that, you know, I kind of got caught in that, you know, old world publishing loop a bit, because the book that actually published is so much better than the one that would have published if they had bought it.
Oh, interesting.
So, you know, that's, the rejection letters. Oh yes, Denise Newmar is my agent. We understand why you love this book, but it's just not for us right now. It's just a nice way of saying it's not ready to be published, and we're not ready to put any kind of bank behind this piece of work.
What you think becomes action, causing reaction.
What you think becomes action, causing reaction.
What you think becomes action, causing reaction.